But if you want to hear any lore in particular, make sure you're in the Discord, because once a week I ask a question and the first person to get the question right gets to pick the lore for the week. Nobody picked it, so this week I chose. And I wanted to do something from the older games, so this week's lore is on the Khans, and by extension, the new Khans from Fallout 1 and Fallout 2. So in the year 2121, 44 years after the bombs have fallen, Vault 15 opens up, and 4 groups of people more or less leave. One group takes the Gek and creates Shady Sands, a little bit east of where 15 is. Then there's 3 raider groups that come out. The Vipers, the Jackals, and the Khans. Now, the first leader of the Khans, his name's not given. He's just Gnarl Deathhand's father. A Death Hand is a title that Gnarl took when he killed his father to take his place. He did an Oedipus, but with crime and not his mommy. The Khans will later go on to kidnap Tandy. I like how they're just kind of like a raider group. Also, I know this is a meme, and I probably say it every other episode. The wiki on the Khans kind of sucks. Now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure the dudes who TK Mantis, because the Khans played with, they had like a Khan site, like a fan site, which I didn't even think to look up. I actually used for a reference, I used a lot of the wiki for this one, and I used a lot of the Storyteller, which I haven't watched those. Kyle, the Storyteller videos are like 7 years old.
Jeez.
The Khans will go on to kidnap Tandy. Tandy being the
daughter.
Aradesh, the first president of the NCR, and she later goes on to be the president for, I believe, well over like 70 years. I want to say like 81, but I'm probably wrong when I say that. So I was really wrong. It was 52 years. I don't know. She might die at the age of like 81. That's maybe where I'm getting it flipped. She dies at 103. Sorry. I don't know where I got 81 from. Maybe I'm thinking of 2281. Now, when you go to get her back from the Khans, there's a number of ways that you could do it. First, simplest, is going to the Khans base and just killing all of them. Just taking them all out. Another way that you could do is fight Gnarl Deathhand in fisticuffs, in hand-to-hand combat. You can purchase her back, which, that's fun, I guess. You can quietly kill 2 of the guards and sneak her out of the back. If you're, and this is the best one, if your luck is a 9 and you're wearing leather armor, you can go there and there's a percentage chance that they'll think that you're Gnarl Deathhand's father, who he killed. And if your intelligence or charisma is high enough and you pass a speech check, you can tell Gnarl Deathhand that you're his father and he'll run. And you can just take Tandy back to Shady Sands. You can also blow up her cell door and get her out. Bunch of different ways to do this quest. It's a lot of fun. Now, one of the only surviving members, canonically, it's alluded to that the Vault Dweller wiped them all out, is a man named Darian, and he's one of the only surviving members of the Khans. Now, he leaves when this happens, the destruction of the Khans. There's him, maybe a couple other stragglers, but I'm pretty sure it's mainly him. And he starts a new band of raiders called the New Khans. And he goes back to Vault 15 and takes the remnants of it, goes into it, and says to a bunch of squatters outside that he's going to repair it. And he tricks them by lying like a liar, saying, just keep anyone out, and keep out especially anyone NCR. Because in his eyes, he sees the NCR as killing the Khans, which, I mean, they kind of are, but at this point, I'm pretty sure Vault 13, well, Shady Sands is the capital of the NCR. So, by extension, 15 would probably believed to be NCR territory. And he kind of just snuck in and took it. Now, there is a chance for the Chosen One to start a deal to broker. I think that's the word that they use, broker. Proctor? Start a deal with the Khans for 15 and pretty much The Chosen One goes in there, wipes out the entire place, and then they move on from there. There are the Great Khans that are in the 2281 era, the New Vegas era. I'm not going to talk about them all that much, because I want to talk about them separately. I wanted to talk about the original Khans a bit, but there are a couple of people who slip away, start the new Khans. Now, Darien actually goes to one of the tribals of Arroyo, who is the Chosen One's nephew, Fergus. And Fergus becomes a spy for the Khans inside of the NCR's Congress. When you're trying to broker that deal to annex 15, when the Chosen One talks to the squatters, even they say, get rid of Darien. Other than that, that's really them. I didn't really want to get too much into their quests or what have you, other than the Tandy one, because just the Khans lore. And Fallout 1 lore, I don't expect a ton of stuff. That's why I like doing it, because it's so bare bones, but also because it's the foundation that other things are built upon. Like, if you watch from 1 to 2 to New Vegas, like, you see the evolution, and I like that. And that's why I want to talk about the Khans by themselves, so I can reference this video, send people over to this whatever. At the Mojave Outpost, Ezekiel will mention that both groups of the Khans have been wiped out. There is a piece of early concept art that if it's not on screen already, it's on screen now. Khan tire armor, and it looks like a really rough rendition between like a raider and a super mutant, and I appreciate it. A little behind the scenes from the wiki, the Khans are mentioned in the Fallout Bible and the Origins of Fallout, which is not considered canon, but the Bible is. That's really about it. That's everything I have to say on the Khans and the new Khans, and that, ladies and germs, is lore.